prepared to change. In Romans 12:2 it says, don't copy the behavior and customs of the world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. You know, when God is directing you, you'll start to discover new patterns in your life. Things that you didn't know before. Changes in your life for the better. Change helps you to adapt to new situations and to grow on the inside. Your thinking becomes clearer. Wisdom is seeing the world through God's eyes. That's wisdom. Now, you're not going to be perfect. We all fall short. God isn't looking for us to be perfect. What He likes is commitment and an effort we're putting in. We're trying. And we have a desire to be close to Him. And we're trusting Him. And we have total faith in Him. That's what God is looking for. There was a lumberjack, went for a job, chopping trees down. The foreman said, okay, let me see you chop that tree. I'll tell you if you got the job. So he gets his axe out and chop. And the foreman, he does a good job. The foreman says, right, you got the job, start tomorrow. So he comes in, works really hard, chopping down the trees, etc. And by the end of the day, he's actually done more work than any of the other guys. Number one. Comes in the second day, again, he works just as hard. And he's chopping like mad. But at the end of the day, he's about average. About middle of the road. The third day, he comes to work. Again, he works so hard. But he falls short of everybody else. He hasn't really done that much. And so the foreman approaches him and says, look, I'm sorry, but you're not reaching the quota here. I'm going to have to lay you off. And the guy says, you know, I love this job so much. He says, I'm working so hard. I'm working. These other guys are taking breaks and stuff. I'm not even taking breaks. I'm working away. I really want this job. So the foreman felt sorry for him. And he said, are you taking time out to sharpen your axe, to keep your axe sharp? And he wasn't. He was working and working, and his axe was getting blunter, and he was chopping with a blunt axe, and so he became ineffective. And so it is with us. We also can become ineffective. To keep our axe sharp and keep us effective, we need to be studying our Bible. We need to be developing our relationship with God. Prayer, listening to God. When we're spending time with God, that's how we keep our axe sharp and we become effective. That's important to do that. Otherwise you become ineffective. You have a blunt axe. We have to be walking with Jesus. Now, Jesus is walking with us all the time. Just because we can't see him doesn't mean he's not there. If you were walking down the street and Jesus was walking next to you in the flesh, how do you reckon you'd feel? I reckon you'd feel 10 feet tall. Your head would be up. You'd be so confident. There'd be no worries or fears or anything in your life. Jesus is here. We're having a chat. He will talk to you. You can talk to him. Now the fact is, Jesus is walking with you. Just because you can't see him doesn't mean he's not there. Now, I'll give you a little demonstration. I have a pound coin in my hand. Can you all see it? Yeah? That pound coin is in my right hand, yeah? There it is. It's in my right hand. So if I say to you, I have a pound coin in my right hand, you believe me, don't you? Because you can see it. So you wouldn't doubt that, would you? It's there. Now, if I take this pound, I put it behind my back. Now I say to you, the pound coin is still in my right hand. Now you're not so sure. Because you might have switched it. I know what Chad's like. You might have switched it. But if you know me, you've known me for a long time. And you know I'm an honest guy. And I wouldn't lie to you. And I'm saying to you that the coin is still in my right hand. If you believe in me, you're my friend, you trust me, you will say yes. If he says that coin's in his right hand, it's in his right hand. I have no doubts about it. Now I can show you, it is in the right hand. You were right to believe me. You believe me, maybe some of you don't. But I think Pastor believes me, I hope he does anyway. Yeah? You believe me because you know me. You've known me for a long time. I'm a straight guy. And so, the same applies to Jesus. You can't see him. Can't see the pound coin. But in the same way, you have to believe he's there with you. Because he is. Now, of course, we live in the real world. And we all have challenges in our lives. Dear sister had a challenge earlier she talked about. And things are not always how we'd like them to be. We can't control what happens out there. And we can't control how other people behave. But what we can control is what happens within us. That's what we can control. There was a minister who was preparing his sermon for the next day. At the same time, he was having to look after a small child. And the child was wanting attention all the time. And the minister couldn't concentrate on what he was doing. So he says to the son, look, I have a jigsaw puzzle here. If you can do this jigsaw puzzle, when you finish it, I'm going to take you out to the park and we're going to have ice cream together. And the child said, yeah, Dad, yeah. We do that. So he gave him the jigsaw, and it was a picture, a map of the world. The picture was a map of the world. And the minister thought, well, that's not an easy jigsaw to do. That's going to take him at least half an hour, maybe an hour, which gives me plenty of time. So he gives him the jigsaw, but within a couple of minutes, it's done. Daddy, look, it's all finished. The minister looked at it, and he said, how? How did you do that so quickly? And the child said, well, what I did was, I turned it on the other side, and there was a picture of a man there. And what I did was, I put the man together, and when the man was together, the world was automatically done. And that's the same with us. When we get ourselves right, our world will automatically be right. When we change, your world around you will also change. The mind right, the world is automatically right. And people will see you differently. You know, it's how you live your life that determines your faith. not what you call yourself. Now, you will have challenges. But it's good to have challenges. By winning through the challenges, we become stronger. And as we become stronger, God will probably put bigger challenges before us because He has a bigger purpose for us. He has to build us up and make us stronger. You need to always be growing and getting stronger. If you plant a seed, the seed will start to grow. But when that seed stops growing, it starts to die. The difference between us and the flower is that we don't stop growing. Growing is a lifetime pursuit. But the good news is that in this journey of your life, you are not traveling alone, because God is with you all the way. Isn't that wonderful? Eh? Let's give God a clap offering. Yeah. Because God is good. And all the time. Yes. Now, if you apply these things that I've shared with you today, then in the words of Mr. Sainsbury's, you will taste the difference. I'm finished now.